Hey, good morning, folks. I'm Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy. A cold front, pretty strong cold front will be moving through today, this afternoon on the east side of the state, and that's where the chance of severe thunderstorms lies with brief strong wind gusts and some large hail. So if you have a chance, park your car in the garage in the Thumb, the Saginaw, Bay City area, Flint area, Ann Arbor, and Detroit areas. We'll get into that. And then we've talked about this cool down endlessly coming, and it's pretty significant cool down for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then the cool starts to ease off. And now, starting to see that weather pattern, upper air pattern change that has been anticipated due to the flip-flop from El Nino to La Nina, and it's starting to show up as some hot weather here in Michigan by the time we get to about mid-June. So here we go. We'll start off. I want to start off with something. This is a neat graphic, and it's a good learning lesson for you. This is the satellite image with the upper airflow superimposed over it. And what you'll see is this big bend in the jet stream. That's an upper air disturbance that we're always talking about. And ahead of it, you'll see the clouds and the thunderstorms. And that's where we're at now. So here it is. So the red lines are basically panel of Todorov. Yes, the cool down will cut the humidity. And it is pretty high. Some spots could have dew points in the low 70s by this afternoon, which would be very humid. Hey, good morning, Mark Ambrosi. Thanks for joining us on the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Consumers Energy. So here is, the red lines are the bend in the jet stream. You see it kind of on an axis from Minnesota through Iowa down into Missouri. And notice ahead of it, to the east of it, that's where the clouds, the showers, and the thunderstorms lie. Here is the current radar. And the weather right now is not severe. We just have low-end thunderstorms. And the Storm Prediction Center, I've been thinking with a few other meteorologist friends that they should upgrade the Thumb, the Detroit area, Ann Arbor area to a slight risk of severe weather from a marginal risk. But their point is that there's no cap in the atmosphere. And what that means is a cap holds the storms at bay through the morning, early afternoon, lets the instability build up, and then they explode. With no cap, we can see scattered thunderstorms develop at any time, and that kind of uses up the energy in the atmosphere. So robust thunderstorms, and they do have us in the chance of some damaging winds. Here is that severe weather forecast. Let me show you. This is the damaging wind forecast. So basically from about Bay City, Midland, down to Kalamazoo, eastward is when we think that the thunderstorms will gain momentum and could possibly produce isolated, brief 60, 65 mile an hour gusts. These are isolated things where a neighbor's shed or a family member's shed can be damaged, but not a widespread, a lot of trees down, everybody's without power kind of thing. Probably will not get into something like that. All right, now we'll look at the radar forecast, and you see why we think the thunderstorms will become robust. Let me grab the latest. That's the beauty of this model, is it's called the high resolution rapid refresh, meaning that it comes in often. So this is noontime. Northern half of lower Michigan, UP, could have a vigorous thunderstorm. And then we get to 2 in the afternoon, and that's about the time when the instability starts to kick up the thunderstorms. Sunrise side through the Tri-City, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, down to Lansing, down to Kalamazoo. And of course, going into 3 and 4 and 5 o'clock, those storms would have the heat of the day to build momentum. Hey, good morning, everyone. This is the MLive Morning Weather Update. brought to you by Consumers Energy. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. 300 of us this morning. How you doing? Good morning to Diane Farley, Sam Isaac. Hopefully I got that correctly. Rachel Ebach. Thanks for watching. Pat Simon and Dave Maurer. Hey, good morning, Dave. Fellow Saginawian? Is that how we say it? I'm not sure. So let's get back into our radar forecast showing, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. That's when the storms vigorous move through the thumb, southeast Ann Arbor and Detroit, maybe another little band. Don't look at this and say, oh, it's going to go right around me. The point is that the zone of storms moves through the eastern part of the state, this is 8 o'clock, so let's call it 3 to 8 o'clock. Another batch off to the west. These will need the instability and heat of the day to produce any severe weather, but that second line would have colder air aloft, could be a hail producer in the evening hours in the UP, and then as it drifts south overnight, they weaken considerably because they lose the heating of the sunshine. Then we go into a cool flow tomorrow into the weekend, and you can see what the radar will look like. It'll look like speckles of quick little showers. That's what happens in cool air in Michigan, especially the northern half of Michigan at this time of the year. The lake is heated up some, cool aloft. You get these little spurts of showers. All right, now we go into the weekend. And, at about this time, part of my job after the science and the meteorology, part of my job is actually knowing you, knowing what you feel about the weather. And I always say it's a little bit psychology. And that is that the weekend coming up now, I know how we want the second weekend of June. 99% of the people in Michigan want it to be full out a summer weekend. We want at least one of those days to be well into the 80s with sunshine. Not this weekend, so I'm going to call it a less than stellar weekend. I'm not going to call it a washout. The farther north you go in the state and into the UP, the more shower and cloud activity you will have, but not a washout, but not 80s and hot and humid whatsoever. Now, some people do love that, but like I said, I have to know most of you, and most of you are ready for hot summer weekends. So here we go. This is our shower and thunderstorm activity today. And then tomorrow we get this cooler wraparound rain shower activity. This is tomorrow afternoon into evening. Northern half of lower Michigan and the UP, very classic for those spurty showers on a cold northwesterly flow at this time of the year. This is Friday afternoon into evening. And again, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Ann Arbor, Detroit, you're probably dry. You're cool. Not terrible. Hey, Jill Clark, thank you for enjoying the live from Frankenmuth yesterday. So now we go into Saturday, and again, still looks very same. A few spotty showers. We go into Sunday, starting to dry out, starting to work off that cold patch. And as we go into next week, it looks like the sun comes back, of course, during the weekday. And as we go out 10 days, we start to see our first southwesterly flow developing, and that's why I think it's going to get pretty hot by the time we get to June 14th, 15th, 16th, somewhere in there, mid-June. And let's look at that. So now what you're looking at is the upper airflow off of the US model and the European model. I'm going to show you that they both look very similar in that a high pressure hot ridge is going to build in the middle part of the country, including Michigan, and this is something we've been anticipating. As the El Nino switches to La Nina, we've found that this is kind of a common pattern in the 5 times that that's happened. So here's our cold spell for the weekend. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's call it what it is for early June. We like it in the 80s. It won't get there. Now we're at June 13th, 14th, 15th. You can see a much different upper airflow configuration. This is a flat out hot summer pattern by the time we get to June 16th, 17th, 18th, and June 21st. We settle in there. Ridge building, middle part of the U.S., and hot summer weather. And look at the European model. Does exactly the same thing. June 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. The interesting thing about this is if the Pacific continues to send us storm systems every 3 or 4 days, we would be in what we call ridge runners. These are the storms that produce the severe weather in Michigan. So I do believe that late June and early July will be our classic severe weather time. Now, let's look at the surface temperature anomaly. And you don't like seeing that on Friday, June 7th, where you're looking at 15 degrees colder than normal. And through the weekend, you can see the cold pocket, and then it shifts south. Now we're to late next week. We're at June 14th and 15th, and now you start to see the heat starts to build. June 16th, that'd be 10 degrees warmer than normal. That would get you to 90 degrees in a lot of places in Michigan. And you go out to June 20th, and still a widespread warmer than normal pattern developing. So let's look at the actual temperatures. Today we're warm and humid in the southeast. Tomorrow, little cooler, 70s southeast, 60s, 50s in western part of the UP. Look at Friday, highs in the 60s, 50s in the north. That might be a little bit overdone. I would say 60 is pretty easy to get to this time of the year. Saturday, 60s and 70s. Sunday, 60s and 70s. Monday, the same. And then we start to head toward the hotter weather as we get into the late part of next week. So we definitely have a couple of weather changes coming. Severe storms possible this afternoon in the east. Pretty chilly weather for this time of the year, like the way we don't like it on the weekends coming up. And then it does look like the heat takes off, and still the forecast for the summer is hotter than normal. And I think we will find that from mid-June through July and August. Of course, there will be breaks. We live in Michigan. That's the great thing. We do get breaks in the heat. But do not think that just because this weekend is cool that it's the theme for the summer. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. This update brought to you by Consumers Energy. And have yourselves a great day. We'll keep you updated on the storms this afternoon in the east.